What happens when a bride dances with her ex at her own wedding reception and everyone cheers, except the groom? How could one spin on the dance floor unravel a marriage, a family, and an entire social circle? Can a woman who thought she was just having fun really justify what came next? Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible stories. I stared at Jenna's phone. The thumbnail was me mid-dip, hair flying, Declan's hand low on my back. The caption, "Bride steals the show with ex-boyfriend's epic dance." Wedding goals, bath hot mess, 18,000 views in 48 hours. Marco leaned over. "You're trending on the local TikTok. Someone added the Dirty Dancing soundtrack." I forced a laugh. It's just a dance. But my stomach was already knotting. Monday, 9:12 a.m. Nathan's office voicemail. "You've reached Nathan Park. I'm out of the office until further notice." I texted, "We need to talk, please." 3 dots, then nothing. And Monday, 11:47 a.m. I drove to the house. His car was in the driveway, but the curtains were drawn. I used my key. The guest room door was closed. A yellow legal pad lay on the kitchen island. "Call Caldwell, storage unit 217, climate control, change all passwords, Mira's pediatrician, update emergency contact." I tore the page off, folded it into my pocket. The guest room lock clicked when I tried the handle. "Nathan, open the door." Silence. Then, "I have nothing to say." Monday, 2:03 p.m. I called Simon. He answered on the 3rd ring. "Isolde. Where is he?" "Working from home. He asked me to handle the office. Tell him to talk to me." Simon sighed. He saw the video. Everyone saw the video. His mom called crying. His boss texted him the link. It was one dance. You dipped like you were auditioning for a rom-com. Declan's hand was, "Stop. Just tell him I'm sorry." "I'll try." Monday, 6:30 p.m. Mira's preschool pickup. Mrs. Chen handed me a new form. "Dad updated the emergency contacts. You're now secondary." I stared at the paper. Nathan had crossed out my cell and written his own in black Sharpie. Monday, 9:14 p.m. I sat on the porch steps with a bottle of the champagne we'd saved from the wedding. The cork had dried. It popped like a gunshot. I drank straight from the bottle. Headlights swept the driveway. Nathan's car. He parked, got out slowly. "You're drinking our toast," he said. "I'm drinking our marriage." He sat 2 steps below me. We didn't look at each other. "I didn't sleep with him," I said. "I know." "Then why?" "Because it wasn't about sex. It was about spectacle. You made me the guy whose wife danced with her ex while the internet laughed." I took another swig. "I didn't think." "No. You felt, and everyone saw." Tuesday, 7:22 a.m. I woke to an email from Nathan's lawyer, Evan Caldwell. Subject, proposed separation agreement, urgent review attachment, 14 pages. Nathan keeps the house. I get the Portland condo, underwater mortgage. Custody, 80-20, him primary. Spousal support, none. Clause 7, I agree to refrain from public displays that damage the co-parenting relationship. I forwarded it to Ms. Rao with one line. Help. On Tuesday, 10:12 a.m. Ms. Rao's office smelled of lemon and printer toner. She read the proposal without blinking. "He's weaponizing embarrassment. Classic move. We counter with 50-50, joint assets, no morality clauses. He's got the video. We've got context. And I'm subpoenaing Declan's phone records. Bet there's more than dancing." Tuesday, 1:15 p.m. I drove to the storage unit. The lock was new, digital keypad. I tried Mira's birthday. Denied. Our anniversary. Denied. I called the manager. "Unit 217. My husband changed the code." "Ma'am, only the leaseholder can..." Nathan Park, I'm his wife. A pause. He removed you from the account yesterday. Tuesday, 3:30 p.m. Declan texted from an unknown number. Saw the video. Still the best answer I know. Drinks? I replied. Delete this number. Jazz Tuesday, 7 p.m. Nathan came home for Mira's bedtime. He read her The Very Hungry Caterpillar in the guest room. Door cracked. I stood in the hallway listening to his voice crack on the part where the caterpillar builds its cocoon. When he emerged, I blocked the stairs. Take the ring back. I held it out. He looked at it like it was evidence. I don't want it. Then talk to me. He stepped around me. Caldwell's filing tomorrow. Emergency custody. Based on public endangerment to minors' emotional welfare. Because of a dance. Because you let the internet raise our daughter for 3 minutes while you played movie star. Wednesday, 8 a.m. Ms. Rao met me at the courthouse. We filed counter petition for 50-50 custody, motion to dismiss emergency filing, request for forensic accounting. Nathan had moved $47,000 to a new account last week. Wednesday, 10:30 a.m. Judge Lehrman's chambers. Nathan sat opposite me, tie too tight. Caldwell slid the viral video across the desk, paused on the dip. Your Honor, this went viral within hours. The child's mother is tagged in 127 comments, calling her thirsty and desperate. This is the environment Mr. Park is protecting his daughter from. Ms. Rao didn't flinch. Your Honor, the child isn't in the video. The mother is celebrating her marriage. We have character witnesses, pediatrician reports, and a pattern of Mr. Park isolating the child, removing Mrs. Park from preschool forms, storage unit access, and joint accounts without notice. Judge Lehrman removed her glasses. Mr. Caldwell, embarrassment isn't endangerment. Emergency motion denied. Parties to mediation within 14 days. Child remains in joint custody. Current schedule. Costs to petitioner. She banged the gavel. Last Wednesday, 12 p.m. Nathan found me in the hallway. You won. No, Mira won. He looked at his shoes. I overreacted. You weaponized our daughter. I was hurt. So was I, but I didn't lock you out of her life. He nodded. Mediation. Next Wednesday. I'll tell Caldwell to stand down on the house. Wednesday, 6 p.m. We picked Mira up together. She ran to both of us, arms wide. Nathan lifted her. I kissed her cheek. At home, I made mac and cheese. Nathan set the table without being asked. Mira asked, Are you friends again? Nathan and I exchanged a look. Working on it, he said. 1 week later, mediation. The room was beige. The mediator, Dr. Patel, had a voice like chamomile. Nathan went first. I was humiliated. I let it cloud my judgment. I went second. I was reckless. I didn't think about how it looked to him, or to Mira someday. We signed 50-50 custody, week on, week off, house and trust until Mira's 18, joint accounts restored, no social media clauses, couples counseling, 12 sessions. 3 months later, the viral video was buried under newer scandals. Nathan deleted his TikTok. I stopped dancing at weddings. Some nights, he still reached for me in the dark. Some nights, I let him. We weren't the couple in the champagne glow anymore. We were the couple who'd survived the algorithm and each other. Mira drew a new picture, 2 stick figures holding hands under a purple octopus. She labeled it Mommy plus Daddy plus Home. We hung it on the fridge. It stayed there. The video was titled Bride's Ex Steals the Show at Wedding Reception. The comments were a mix of heart emojis and people arguing about whether it was inappropriate. I forced a laugh. Nathan's just being sensitive about it, I said, stirring sugar into my coffee. He doesn't like being the center of attention. Wait, Nathan's upset. Jenna's smile faltered. I thought you guys were cool with it. We are. He's just... You know how men are. Fragile egos. Thursday, 9:17 a.m. I parked 2 rows behind the silver Subaru in the Riverside lot. Engine off, windows cracked. The air smelled of wet leaves and espresso from the cafe's patio. Declan was already at a corner table, legs stretched, scrolling his phone. He wore the same navy blazer from the wedding, sleeves pushed up, forearms tanned from wherever he'd been surfing. I watched him for a full minute before he looked up. When he spotted me, his grin was instant, boyish, dangerous. Isolde. He stood, pulled out my chair like we were on a date. You came, I said I would. I sat, knees together, purse on my lap like armor. He ordered for both of us, iced oat milk latte for me, black cold brew for him, without asking. The barista knew him. She smiled too wide. So, he said, leaning in, tell me what's really going on at home. I told him, not everything, just the edges, Nathan's locked door, the empty household folder, the calendar reminder that repeated like a heartbeat. Declan listened the way people do when they want something, head tilted, eyes locked, small nods that said, keep going. Sounds like he's building a case, he said when I finished. My ex did the same thing. Calendar invites for meetings that didn't exist. Screenshots of nothing. It's control. He's not like that, I said, but the words felt thin. Declan's thumb brushed the inside of my wrist. You sure? I pulled my hand back, pretended to check my phone. A text from Mira's preschool. Early dismissal today. Teacher planning. I have to go, I said. Already? He looked wounded, then recovered. Text me when you're free. No pressure. I left without finishing my latte. Thursday, 11:03 a.m. I picked Mira up from the half-day program. She ran to me clutching a finger painting of a purple octopus. Mummy, can Declan come over again? He said he'd bring his guitar. My stomach dropped. When did you talk to Declan? At the wedding. He let me hold his pick. It was green. I buckled her into the car seat, hands shaking. Thursday, 2:14 p.m. Nathan's office was a glass box on the 12th floor. His assistant, Priya, waved me through. Nathan was on a call, feet on the desk, laughing at something the person on the other end said. When he saw me, the laugh died. Isolde. He ended the call. Everything okay with Mira? She's fine. I closed the door behind me. Who are you talking to? Client. Which client laughs like that at 2 p.m? He sighed, stood, came around the desk. What do you want is? The truth. The household folder, the calendar, the PI receipts in the garage. His face didn't change, but something flickered behind his eyes. You've been going through my things. You've been going through mine. He opened a drawer, pulled out a manila folder, slid it across the desk. Discovery starts next week. You'll get your copy. Inside, the Riverside receipts. A photo of Declan and me on the promenade, my hand in his. Timestamp, 10:47 a.m. today. You're having me followed. I'm protecting my family. Mira asked if Declan could come over. She remembers him from the wedding. Nathan's jaw flexed. He's not coming near her. You don't get to decide that alone. I do when you're reckless. He tapped the photo. This is reckless. I left without another word. Thursday, 6:22 p.m. I put Mira to bed early, read her goodnight moon twice. She fell asleep clutching the green guitar pick Declan had given her. I slipped it from her fingers and into my pocket. Downstairs, I opened Nathan's laptop again. This time I knew the password, Mira's birthday backward. The household folder wasn't empty anymore. Subfolders, taxes, insurance, divorce. I clicked divorce. Proposed settlement, Nathan keeps the house. I get the condo in Portland we'd bought as an investment. Custody, 70-30, him primary. Attached, character affidavit from Declan's ex-wife alleging pattern of emotional affairs. I stared until the screen blurred. Friday, 8:30 a.m. I dropped Mira at preschool, then drove to the storage unit. The combination lock was the same. Inside, a new box. Digital 2, hard drive. I plugged it into my tablet in the car. Video files. The first, me and Declan at the cafe yesterday, his hand on mine. But the full clip, 43 minutes, showed me pulling away, saying I can't do this. The version Nathan had was edited to 8 seconds. Another file. Audio of me on the phone with Jenna last week. I kissed him, Jen, just once. I stopped it. Nathan's version cut off at I kissed him. I copied everything to a new drive labeled Truth. Friday, 10 a.m., I met Ms. Rao at her office. She watched the full clips without blinking. He's curating a narrative, she said. We'll destroy it, but we need to move fast. He's filing for emergency custody Monday. On what grounds? Imminent risk to minor. He's claiming Declan's a danger based on the ex-wife's affidavit. Declan's not even in the state. Doesn't matter. Perception is reality in family court. Friday, 3:15 p.m. Declan texted, "Flying out tonight. Dinner before I go?" I replied, "Can't. Family stuff." He sent a sad face emoji. I blocked his number. Friday, 7 p.m. Nathan came home with takeout from the Thai place we used to love. He set it on the counter like an offering. "Truce?" he asked. I handed him the Truth drive. "Watch it. All of it." He took it upstairs. I heard the guest room door close, then open again 20 minutes later. He stood in the kitchen doorway, eyes red. "I didn't know there was more. You didn't want to." He nodded slowly. "I'll tell Caldwell to stand down. 50-50. We keep the house. No affidavits. And the PI, fired, effective immediately." Saturday, 9 a.m. We took Mira to the park. She ran between us, shrieking as Nathan pushed her on the swing, me catching her at the bottom. At noon, we sat on a bench eating ice cream cones. Mira had chocolate smeared across her cheek. "Are you friends again?" she asked. Nathan and I looked at each other. "Working on it," I said. He wiped her face with a napkin. "Best friends take breaks sometimes." She considered this, then held out her cone. "Want a bite?" We each took one. Sunday, 11 a.m. Nathan moved his clothes back into our room. The guest bed stayed made up, just in case. We deleted the household folder together, emptied the trash. That night, Mira crawled into bed between us, clutching the green guitar pick. "Tell me the octopus story," she demanded. Nathan started. "Once upon a time, there was a purple octopus named Mira." I finished. "Who learned that home wasn't a place, but the people who kept coming back." She fell asleep smiling. 1 month later, the divorce papers were shredded. The storage unit was emptied. The PI's hard drive was wiped and dropped in the river. Declan unfollowed me on everything. I didn't notice. Some nights Nathan still slept lightly, as if waiting for the other shoe to drop. I'd reach for his hand under the covers. He'd squeeze once, then relax. We weren't fixed, we were in repair, and for now, that was enough. My mother's 58th birthday fell on a Thursday. She insisted on a big dinner at her favorite restaurant, the kind with long tables and too much wine, and everyone talking over each other. Nathan came. I was surprised. He'd been avoiding family gatherings, citing work or exhaustion or vague plans he never explained. But he showed up, dressed in the blue shirt I'd bought him last Christmas, and sat at the far end of the table without a word. My mother gave a long, theatrical toast about aging gracefully and living authentically. Then she added with a pointed look at Nathan, "And here's to my daughter, who's never been afraid to be herself, even when certain people try to make her feel guilty for having a little fun." The table laughed. Nathan didn't react. He just cut into his steak, methodical and silent. My phone buzzed under the table. "Declan." "Miss you. When am I seeing you again? I glanced up. Nathan was watching me. Not my face, my hands, hidden below the table edge. I froze. But he didn't say anything. He just looked back down at his plate. After dinner, my father pulled me aside by the coat check. Is everything okay at home, sweetheart? It's fine, Dad. Nathan's just being moody. Moody. He repeated the word slowly, like he was tasting it. Isolde, I know you think I don't pay attention, but I've been watching that boy for 5 years. He's not moody. He's hurt. He's overreacting. Is he? My father's voice was gentle, but there was something underneath it I didn't like. If someone hurt you the way you hurt him, would you think you were overreacting? I didn't answer. Tessa appeared at my elbow, keys in hand. Ready to go? She asked, but her eyes were on my father, her expression careful. In the car, Tessa was quiet for too long. Finally, she said, Are you seeing Declan? I laughed. We're just friends. Isolde, she gripped the steering wheel tighter. I saw you two at the Riverside Cafe, and I'm not the only one. So, I'm allowed to have coffee with an old friend. Is that all it is? Yes. Her jaw tightened. She didn't believe me. I didn't care. My phone buzzed again. Nathan. I know. We will handle this properly. My stomach dropped, but I shoved the phone into my purse and stared out the window, telling myself he was bluffing. Mira asked the question on a Tuesday morning, standing on the landing in her pajamas, clutching her stuffed rabbit. Why does Daddy sleep in the other room? I crouched down to her level, forcing a smile. Because Daddy snores, sweetheart. It's easier this way. But you said snoring is just noise. Noise doesn't hurt. It's different when you're trying to sleep. Can I sleep in there with him? No, baby, you stay in your room. She frowned, her small face crumpling. Is Daddy mad at us? Of course not. Daddy loves you very much. I kissed her forehead, my throat tight. Now go brush your teeth. That afternoon, I met Declan at the park near Mira's preschool. It was a risk, but I told myself the playground would be empty this time of day. And it was, except for a woman sitting on a bench at the far end, scrolling on her phone. I didn't recognize her, so I didn't worry. Declan and I sat on the swings, talking about nothing and everything. He made me laugh. He made me feel like I wasn't disappearing into the background of my own life. When I got home, the preschool parent group chat was strangely quiet. I posted a picture of Mira's latest art project, My Little Artist. 3 likes. Usually I got at least 15. The next morning, I ran into one of the moms at drop-off. She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. How are you, Isolde? Good. Busy, you know how it is. I'm sure. She adjusted her sunglasses. Well, take care. She walked away quickly. Too quickly. By evening, I knew why. Elaine showed up at my door, unannounced, her face pale and furious. We need to talk. Elaine, this isn't a good time. She pushed past me into the foyer. Nathan hasn't eaten a real meal in a week. He's lost 10 pounds. He doesn't sleep. Do you have any idea what you've done to him? He's an adult. He can take care of himself. He's your husband, her voice cracked, and you're destroying him. I'm not destroying anyone. Nathan's the one who decided to shut me out, to lock himself away like a child. Because you humiliated him, in front of everyone we know, and now you're running around town with your ex-boyfriend like you're single. I'm not running around with anyone. Declan is a friend. Don't lie to me, Isolde. I wasn't born yesterday, and neither was Nathan. Elaine's hands were shaking. She looked older than I'd ever seen her, fragile, in a way that made me feel something I didn't want to name. Nathan is my son, she said quietly, and I will stand by him no matter what comes next. Whatever you think you're getting away with, you're not. He's not the weak man you think he is. She left without waiting for a response. I stood in the foyer, my heart hammering, until I heard Nathan's car pull into the driveway. I went to the kitchen. That's when I saw it, a binder on the counter, labeled Utilities. It was too thick for bills. I opened it. That night I couldn't sleep. The house was too quiet, the kind of quiet that presses against your eardrums. I padded downstairs in socks, opened the junk drawer, and found the spare key to Nathan's filing cabinet, the one he thought I didn't know about. The cabinet was in the garage, tucked behind the lawnmower and a stack of flattened Amazon boxes. I'd watched him lock it last week, the same way he used to lock his phone when we were first dating, and he swore it was just fantasy football. The key turned with a soft snick. Inside, 3 hanging folders. The first held the Riverside Cafe receipts, clipped together with a paperclip shaped like a tiny cactus. The second was labeled Isolde, Expenses. My credit card statements, but not mine. Nathan had printed them from the joint account. Yellow highlighter, slashed across charges I didn't recognize. Park Street Cafe, $31.09 on a Tuesday, when I was supposedly at book club. Riverside, $22.13 on a Thursday. I'd told him I was working late. The sticky note in his handwriting, verify dates. The third folder was thinner, a single sheet, a printout from a private investigator's invoice. Surveillance, 12 HRs, errors, 125 fee chi, and $1,500. Paid in full. Date of service, the same Tuesday as the $31.09. I took photos with my phone, hands trembling so badly the flash kept going off. Then I closed everything exactly as I'd found it, locked the cabinet, and slipped the key back under the expired Bed Bath & Beyond coupons. Friday morning, Nathan left for work at 6:47, same as always. I waited until his taillights disappeared, then drove to the storage unit on Route 9, the one he'd mentioned for tax returns. The manager, a guy with a neck tattoo of a koi fish, recognized me from the Christmas party 2 years ago when Nathan had too many IPAs and tried to karaoke Bohemian Rhapsody. Unit 217, he said, waving me through without checking ID. Your hubby upgraded to climate control last month. The roll-up door was padlocked with a combination lock I didn't know. I tried our anniversary, didn't work. Calla's birthday, nothing. Then, on a hunch, the date on the USB drive from his keychain. The lock clicked open. Inside, bankers' boxes stacked like Jenga. I opened the top one. More receipts. Hotel keycards in a Ziploc. A manila envelope labeled I. Correspondence. Inside, printouts of my texts. Not to Nathan, to Mark. The ones I'd deleted. The ones where I said I miss laughing and he doesn't see me anymore and wish you were here. Screenshots from Mark's phone, apparently. A post-it in Nathan's handwriting. Subpoena phone records. I sat on the concrete floor and cried without sound, the way you do when you don't want to scare yourself. Saturday, I followed him again. He drove to the Riverside Cafe at 10:12 a.m., not our usual weekend spot. I parked across the street behind a delivery van. Nathan sat at an outdoor table with a woman I didn't recognize. Early 30s, dark hair in a low bun, tortoiseshell glasses. She slid a flash drive across the table. He plugged it into his laptop, nodded, unplugged it, slipped it into his pocket. They didn't hug. They didn't even shake hands. She left first. He stayed, sipping an espresso, staring at the river like it owed him money. I waited until he drove off, then went inside. The barista remembered me. Nathan and I used to split the almond croissant on Sundays. That woman with the glasses, I said, casual. She a regular? New. Comes in Tuesdays and Thursdays. Always orders a cortado to go. Pays cash. Sunday, Simon texted, family dinner at Mom's. 6 p.m. Nathan's bringing dessert. I hadn't been invited to Nathan's mom's in 4 months. I showed up anyway, wearing the green dress Nathan used to say made my eyes look like tide pools. The table was set for 6. Nathan's chair was empty. His mom hugged me too tight, the way people do when they're pretending everything's fine. Simon wouldn't meet my eyes. Nathan arrived late, carrying a bakery box. He stopped when he saw me. Isolde. Nathan. His mom bustled. Sit, sit. Lasagna's almost ready. We sat. The lasagna was dry. Nathan passed the garlic bread without looking at me. Simon kept checking his phone. Halfway through, Nathan's mom said, "So, any fun plans for the holidays?" Nathan set his fork down. "Actually, Isolde and I are separating." The room went still. His mum's mouth open, closed. Simon stared at his plate. I laughed, couldn't help it. "Separating? That's what we're calling it." Nathan's voice was calm. "I've filed. You'll get the papers tomorrow." His mum gasped. "Nathan!" "It's amicable," he said like he was reading from a script. "We're just moving in different directions." I stood. "Amicable. Right. Tell them about the PI, Nathan. Tell them how you've been tailing me for months." Simon finally looked up. Maybe not here." "No, let's do it here." I pulled out my phone, opened the photos from the storage unit. Receipts, hotel keys, my deleted texts. He's got a whole archive. Nathan didn't flinch. "You went through my private files. You went through my life." His mum was crying now. Simon stood. "Both of you, outside. Now." And we ended up in the backyard, under the string lights Nathan's dad had hung for Calla's 3rd birthday. Simon lit a cigarette. He'd quit years ago. "You're both idiots," he said. "But Nathan, hiring a PI, that's low." Nathan leaned against the picnic table. "She cheated." "I flirted," I said. "I didn't sleep with him." "You let him in our house, at 2 a.m. "You were in Denver." Simon exhaled smoke. "Doesn't matter. You're torching everything." "For what?" Nathan looked at me. "I want the house. You keep your car, your 401k. We split the savings 50-50. I get the dog on weekends." I laughed again. "The dog? You're allergic." "I'll manage." Simon crushed the cigarette. "You're not thinking about Calla." Nathan's face softened, just for a second. "Calla stays with me during the week. You get weekends. We revisit in 6 months." I felt the ground tilt. "You're taking my daughter?" "I'm giving her stability." Monday the papers arrived via courier. Thick envelope, same red tape. I signed for them with a hand that wouldn't stop shaking. Inside, a proposed parenting plan. Nathan wanted primary custody. Cited my erratic work schedule and documented emotional instability. Attached, a psych eval from a doctor I'd never met. I called my lawyer, Ms. Rao, who'd handled my cousin's divorce. She met me at the office within the hour. "He's alleging alienation," she said, scanning. "And he's got texts where you told Mark you wished Nathan would disappear for a while. Taken out of context, it's ugly." I was venting. Juries don't care about context. She tapped the parenting plan. "We counter with shared custody, 50-50. You keep the house. He can buy you out, or we force a sale. And we subpoena his PI's raw footage. Bet there's stuff he didn't include." Tuesday I tailed Nathan to the storage unit again. This time I brought bolt cutters from the garage. The lock snapped like a wishbone. New box on top, labeled I, digital. Inside, external hard drive. I plugged it into my laptop in the car. Folders, audio, video, photos. I opened audio, dozens of files. The first, my voice, tinny through what sounded like a baby monitor. "I can't do this anymore, Mark. He's everywhere and nowhere." Another, Nathan's voice, same night, whispering to someone, "Simon." I heard her. She's planning something. Video, grainy footage of me in the kitchen at 1:14 a.m., pouring wine, Mark's hand on my back. But the full clip, Nathan had only submitted a 30-second snippet. The rest showed me pushing Mark away, saying, "This was a mistake." I copied everything to a new drive, labeled Archive I. Wednesday, I showed up at Nathan's office unannounced. His assistant tried to stop me. I walked past her like I still belonged there. Nathan was on a call. He hung up when he saw me. "We're doing this in court," he said. "No." I slid Archive I across his desk. We're doing it now. He plugged it in. His face went white as the clips played. You bugged our house. You hired a PI to follow me for months. We're even. He closed the laptop. What do you want? 50-50. The house stays in both our names until Calla's 18. We sell then, split proceeds. No psych evals, no alienation claims. We go to mediation next week and sign. He stared at the drive. And if I say no, then I leak the full videos, to your boss, to your mom, to the judge. Your choice. Silence stretched. Finally. Mediation, next Wednesday. 10 a.m. Thursday night, Calla asked why Daddy's clothes were in the guest room. I told her the truth, as much as a 5-year-old could hold. Daddy and I are figuring some things out, but we both love you bigger than the sky. She considered this, then asked if she could have ice cream for dinner. I said yes. Friday. Nathan came home early. He stood in the kitchen doorway, holding a bakery box. Chocolate eclairs, Calla's favorite. Truce? He asked. For now. We ate eclairs on the couch, chocolate on our fingers, Calla between us telling a long story about a unicorn who lost her rainbow. Nathan wiped a smear from her cheek. I caught his eye. He didn't look away. Wednesday mediation was in a beige room with bad art. The mediator, a woman with a voice like warm tea, made us say one nice thing about each other. Nathan went first. Isolde's an incredible mother. She makes Calla feel safe. I swallowed. Nathan's the most organized person I know. He'll never let Calla miss a dentist appointment. We signed the agreement, 50-50 custody, house in trust, no support. Our incomes were close enough. The dog got 2 beds, 1 in each house. 6 months later, Nathan moved into the apartment above the garage. His idea, so Calla wouldn't have to shuttle between houses. We traded off weeks. Some Fridays we all had pancakes in the kitchen. Nathan in sweatpants, me in the robe he bought me our first Christmas. The archives gathered dust. The USB drives went into a lockbox with the good silver. One night, Calla asked if we were still married but living apart. Nathan and I exchanged a look. Something like that, I said. She nodded, satisfied, and went back to coloring a unicorn with 2 horns, 1 for each house. Mira's preschool recital was on Saturday. I got there early, saved 2 seats in the 3rd row. Nathan didn't sit with me. He sat on the opposite side of the room, next to a woman in a blazer, holding a leather portfolio. They spoke quietly during the opening announcements. The woman handed Nathan a sheet of paper. He read it, nodded, and handed it back. After the recital, I intercepted them by the door. Nathan, who's this? He looked at me, then at the woman, then back at me. A colleague. Isolde, this is Ms. Parker. Ms. Parker, this is Isolde. Nice to meet you. Ms. Parker's smile was professional, distant. She shook my hand once and left quickly, heels clicking on the linoleum. What was that about? I demanded. Work. She doesn't look like a T. She's a consultant. He turned away. I need to go. Nathan. But he was already walking toward the parking lot, phone to his ear. I watched him through the glass doors, standing next to his car, his face calm and focused. He ended the call, looked directly at me, and mouthed one word. Soon. My stomach turned over. I drove home in silence, Mira babbling in the back seat about her song. That night, I found Nathan's wedding ring in an envelope on the kitchen counter. No note, just the ring. I sat down on the floor and cried for the first time in weeks, not because I missed him, but because I was starting to realize what was coming. The process server found me in the school pickup line. It was 3:15 on a Wednesday, the kind of warm afternoon where all the car windows are down and you can hear everyone's radio. I was scrolling through Instagram, barely paying attention, when a woman in business attire tapped on my window. Isolde Marin? Yes? She handed me a manila envelope. "You've been served." The world went very still. I was aware, suddenly, of all the other parents watching, of phones being raised, of whispers starting in the cars around me. I tore open the envelope with shaking hands. Petition for dissolution of marriage, temporary financial orders, proposed custody schedule, Nathan's signature at the bottom, dated 2 weeks ago, a court clerk's stamp, a hearing date circled in red ink, 3 weeks from today. I tried to call my mother. No answer. I tried Declan. He texted back, "Sorry, can't get involved in legal stuff. Hope you're okay." I drove home on autopilot, my vision blurring at the edges. The gate code didn't work. I tried it 3 times before I saw the locksmith's truck parked in the driveway. My key didn't fit the front door. A note taped to the wood, typed and laminated. Per court order, locks have been changed. Personal items moved to storage unit 447, address below. Nathan's car was parked facing the street, engine off. He sat in the driver's seat, hands on the steering wheel, watching me. I stood there, holding the envelope, my legs shaking. Elaine's car pulled up. She got out slowly, her face set. "I'm here for Mira." No, you can't just..." She held up a sheet of paper. "Temporary custody order, filed this morning. Mira stays with Nathan during his work hours, with me as guardian when he's unavailable." "You can't do this." "It's already done, Isolde." The school bus rounded the corner. Mira climbed off, saw Elaine, and smiled. "Grandma." "Hi, sweetheart. You're coming with me today." "Where's Mommy going?" "Mommy has some things to take care of." Elaine took Mira's hand, her voice soft. "But you'll see her soon, I promise." I tried to step forward. Elaine's expression stopped me cold. Don't make this harder on her than it already is. I watched them drive away, Mira's face pressed to the back window, waving. Nathan got out of his car. He walked toward me slowly, deliberately. His face was calm, not angry, not triumphant, just finished. "You thought I was weak," he said quietly. "I was just being thorough." He got back in his car and drove away. I collapsed onto the curb, pages from the petition scattering in the breeze. My phone buzzed. A notification, the wedding dance video, shared again with a new caption. "When you destroy your own marriage on camera, 700 new comments, rising." I sat there until the sun went down and the neighbors turned on their porch lights, their faces appearing briefly in windows, watching, judging, knowing. The envelope sat beside me in the gutter, Nathan's signature visible through the torn paper. I'd wanted to feel alive again. I'd wanted to matter. Now I couldn't even get into my own house. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you don't miss the next story. Write in the comments from which city you are watching.